Gillies.
Good afternoon and welcome to UTRGV Baseball Stadium in Edinburgh, Texas. It is the fourth game of the Al Ogletree Classic, and we are about underway with the first pitch. UTRGV facing Central Michigan, and there's the first pitch inside. Ball one from the starting pitcher, Jorge Flores. At the plate, batting first, center fielder, wearing number 5, Zach Gillies. Ball 2. 2-0 the count to Zach Gillies. Clay Williams here, along with the vested one, Bryan Smith, welcoming you to the Al Ogletree Classic. Hit by pitch is Zach Gillies, and he will head to first base. Jorge Flores not off to a great start. His first start here at UTRGV. Take you through the Chippewas lineup real quick as Jason Sullivan comes up to bat. Number 10, second baseman, batting second. Zach Gillies on first. Gets a decent lead. Jorge Flores looks him over. Flores delivers. Ooh, that's a ball that goes off of Oliver Klosner's glove, and that gives Zach Gillies an easy path to second base. That'll be a pass ball. Oliver Klosner the fourth, out of Mercedes, making his first start. So it's an all Rio Grande Valley battery this afternoon. UTRGV taking on Central Michigan for the second time. Last night it took these teams extra innings before UTRGV won it 7-6 and 10. Inside, ball 2, 2-0 the count.
It'll be a lot of nerves to contend with for both Klosner and Flores. Klosner, the freshman, first start at the Division I level. Flores is the first time pitching in almost 20 months, coming back from Tommy John surgery.
And both with plenty of friends and family. There's foul ball. 2-1 the count to Jason Sullivan. On deck, batting third, the right fielder, number 19, Daniel Robinson, in the hole. Batting fourth, the first baseman, number 37, Evan Kratt. As Flores looks Gillies back to second. Gillies on second. Jason Sullivan at the plate with a 2-1 count. Flores looks and deals. That's a strike. 2-2 the count.
And keep an eye on that pitch from Jorge Flores. He has a plus curveball. Actually, it's more kind of a slurve. It's got some slide to it. And that will do a lot of damage against this lineup for Central Michigan. They're not going to see very many lefties this season, and Flores is a good one.
Oh, struck him out. Strike 3. Jason Sullivan gets sent back to the dugout as Jorge Flores registers his first strikeout with UTRGV. Brian told you, Jorge Flores coming off of 20 months without playing baseball. Tommy John surgery. Before that, he was playing at Louisiana Tech. Before that, Navarro Junior College. Before that, just down the road at Far San Juan Alamo High School, PSJA, the Bears. And before that, 2 years of high school ball, also down the road at Hidalgo High School with the Pirates. His freshman and sophomore year there. As Flores wants to talk it over with Klosner, comes out to the mound, want to get their signals straight with a man on second. Zach Gillies on second. Daniel Robinson up to the plate. Left-handed batter facing the left-handed pitcher Jorge Flores.
And Robinson's still trying to break through. It's 125 on the year, coming off of a 289 campaign last season.
Robinson looks at ball 1. Oh, no, strike 1. There's that slurve you were talking about, Brian. That thing not only breaks along the x-axis, it breaks along the y-axis as well. That's a nasty pitch.
And if you look at his arm angle, too, that's what makes it so dangerous, because he's able to repeat it.
Up the middle, shortstop. 6-3 put out. as Ivan Estrella gets the put out there. Zach Gillis goes on to third. He'll be 90 feet away with 2 outs as Evan Kratt, right-handed batter. First baseman comes up to bat against Jorge Flores. 2 away. There's a strike. Jorge Flores seems to have hit his stride here in the first inning after a couple of balls and then a hitting Zach Gillis to put him on first. Gillis threatening towards home. Ooh, that was close. Not much break on that pitch, though. Pretty much stayed outside. 1-1 count with 2 outs to Evan Kratt. Zach Gillis on third. Keeps feinting towards home. Check swing, and it's a ball. Evan Kratt decided to lay off of that one, and it was the right call for Mr. Kratt, number 37. Leaning over the plate. Brian, you were telling me before the game that Central Michigan loves to crowd that plate. And with that, Jorge Flores with ball 3.
Yeah, do they ever? In game 1 of this tournament against Stephen F. Austin, it looked like Coach Cardenas was going to have an aneurysm. He was so upset with the slew of hit-by pitches that his team sacrificed there in the first game. And a big part of that, you'll notice that Central Michigan comes to the plate. For the bulk of them, they have a really interesting stance. They will hug the plate and put that outside shoulder right across the plate.
After the foul ball, it's a full count. Flores dealing. Strike 3. Thus ends the first half of the inning. Jorge Flores getting 2 strikeouts. And at the end of the first half of the first inning with UTRGV coming up to bat, no score, 0-0.
Life is about moments. If you fight, I fight. If I fight, we fight.
You be there and watch what I do when the bell rings.
Do you have that real look in your eye that when you look at yourself in the mirror, you can ask yourself this question: did I give everything I got? Did I lay it all on the line? Or am I cheating myself?
What you say, Quade?
So whatever you're gonna do, claim it. Leave your mark on this world.
Welcome back to UTRGV Baseball Stadium. UTRGV hosting Central Michigan in the 4th game of the Al Ogletree Classic. Named after the great Coach Al Ogletree, the man who took then Pan American to the College World Series back in the early 70s. One of the greats. Hope he's listening today. Coach Al, we're thinking about you. Hope to get some great baseball play today. On the mound for Central Michigan, Pat Leatherman, right-handed pitcher. No, he's a junior, number 17. And he will face this lineup for UTRGV, leading off and playing center field, Coleman Grubbs, number 10. Batting second and playing second, number 4, Anthony Gomez. Batting third, the designated hitter, Aaron Dees, number 30. Batting cleanup, the shortstop, number 13, Ivan Estrella. Batting fifth, the first baseman, number 22, Austin Seener. Batting sixth, the left fielder, number 24, Elijah Alexander. Batting seventh, the third baseman, number 34, Tyler Torres. Batting eighth, the catcher, number 33, Oliver Klausner the fourth. And batting ninth, the right fielder, number 28, Ryan Fish. And there's the first pitch from Pat Leatherman. It's fouled off by Coleman Grubbs. 0-1 count to the sophomore, Coleman Grubbs.
And Grubbs went 0 for 5 in game 1 today against Stephen F. Austin, but had a nice 2 for 4 performance against Central Michigan last night. And what's special about Grubbs out in center field, you expect him to be speedy. Most center fielders will cover a ton of space with their feet, but he's also a very patient hitter. Has a nice little toe tap as the ball's coming in, and he can drive the ball.
Strike 2. Count 1 and 2 to Coleman Grubbs. As Bryan mentioned, Grubbs batting .222 after 2 starts. Does have a triple and an RBI in there. That one way outside, almost gets away from the catcher, Griffin Lockwood Powell, but held on. Now it's a 2-2 count to the leadoff hitter for UTRGV, Coleman Grubbs. The pitch sent right back up the middle and over the second baseman, Jason Sullivan's head out to the center field. That'll be a solid single for Coleman Grubbs to lead off the game for UTRGV. Got a hold of that one. Sent it to short center right. Brings up Anthony Gomez. The junior having a pretty good first 2 games for UTRGV, 4 for 10.
Of course, Gomez is a converted right fielder. He played right field for UTRGV most of last season. Not a big bat, but an accurate bat. And he'll get some major playing time now playing in the middle infield for UTRGV.
Grubbs leads off. Gomez sends it sky high, but Jason Sullivan is underneath to make the catch. 1 away. And to the strains of the Jimi Hendrix experience, Aaron Dees, the designated hitter for UTRGV, comes up to bat. Aaron Dees, 3 RBI already in this young season, only the 3rd game that either one of these teams has played.
This will be his first game coming out as the DH. He started in right field, each of the first 2 games. But as Coach Malik has talked about, he has a bevy of players in the outfield, and he'll do some switching left and right, moving guys in and out. So Dees moves in the DH position. I'll give a chance to see Ryan Fish playing the field this afternoon.
1 ball and no strikes to Aaron Dees, 1 out. And Coleman Grubbs on first after a leadoff single. Back to first goes Leatherman. Not really any threat to Coleman Grubbs. Didn't have that big of a lead. But Leatherman wants to keep Grubbs honest. Aaron Dees waits at the plate. Strike. Swinging strike. Looked like that one went low on him. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 away for Aaron Dees.
And it's wise to keep an eye on these UTRGV runners. UTRGV so far this season not afraid to really get after the base paths. Had a couple of guys thrown out in game 1 today.
That ball fouled off. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Aaron Dees, the junior outfielder, number 30. Left-hander facing the right-handed Pat Leatherman. Coleman Grubbs at first, takes a lead. Leatherman looks over, goes back to first. Going for the pickoff once again. Not too close, just trying to keep him honest. Beautiful day. The 80-degree range, perhaps even getting close to 90 here in Edinburgh, Texas. That pitch called a ball. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Wind is blowing from right field to left field, giving us a good view of the American flag, the Texas flag, and the retired number of Coach Al Ogletree, for whom this classic is named. Stephen F. Austin, the other team here, along with Central Michigan. Deals to Aaron Dees, and it's a called strike 3. Caught the outside corner. And Aaron Dees heads back to the dugout. And up comes the senior, Ivan Estrella, the shortstop. Right-handed batter. Come to the plate with 2 outs. Pick off back to first. No problem for Coleman Grubbs. Estrella awaiting his first pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Curveball on the inside there. That's a tough one. Estrella looks down to third base for some signals as Coleman Grubbs leads off first. Not much of a pickoff move for Pat Leatherman, but I think he's kind of half-heartedly keeping him back on the base.
He was worried about Grubbs getting grubby on the base pass. He's going to keep him close.
He's going to need to wash those white pants quite a bit. Have to put some Tide Pods in that load of laundry. There's the pitch. 1-1 to Ivan Estrella. Estrella, 195, senior from Tucson, Arizona. Played in the Arizona area at Pima Community College. Strike 2. Swing and a miss for Ivan Estrella. And UTRGV in danger of duplicating Central Michigan's half of the first inning, getting the first batter on and then stranding him. Called strike 3. Pat Leatherman with a fine outing in his first inning after Coleman Grubbs gets the leadoff single, but that's all he would let up. And after 1 inning, 1 hit for UTRGV, we'll take you to the top of the second when we come back with UTRGV Baseball.
Join us as UTRGV Women's Basketball hosts Utah Valley, Saturday, 7 p.m. It's senior night. For more information, visit goutrgv.com. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, now open in Edinburgh, across the street from the university. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, a proud sponsor of UTRGV Athletics, showing everyone one love. Whether it's a pregame meal or a postgame celebration, Raising Cane's has got you covered, open late and ready to serve. Raising Cane's, now open in Edinburgh, across from the university, serving nothing but one love.
Back at UTRGV Baseball Stadium, Edinburgh, Texas in the Rio Grande Valley. UTRGV hosting Central Michigan in the Al Ogletree Classic. Top of the second inning. Up to bat first for the Chippewas of Central Michigan, Griffin Lockwood Powell. The catcher, Jorge Flores deals. Ball 1. Ball 2 to Lockwood Powell, who's watched both cross the plate. Flores had problems with the first batter he faced in the last inning as well. And now has a 3-0 count to deal with for Griffin Lockwood Powell. The freshman. Catcher. Deal, and it goes just inside, catches the corner. Strike 1, 3-1 count to Griffin Lockwood Powell, who's batting 4 for 8 after 2 games this season. Ball 4 And Lockwood Powell heads to first base after the free pass issued by Jorge Flores.
We saw a similar thing from UTRGV starter last night, Carter Johnson, who allowed the lead batter in the first 6 innings to reach the base, and he had to work himself out of a series of really tight situations. Not something Flores is going to want to do. Of course, Flores working on a very low pitch count right now as they're trying to build his arm strength back up to be a regular starter, so can't afford to get himself into pinches and have to work out of them very often.
It's a great story. Jorge Flores just found out he would be eligible to start the season the day before the season started, just this past Thursday. Came out and his teammates were extremely happy. Strike one. To the batter, Zach Heek. Zach Heek steps out of the box after taking strike one, comes back in. Griffin Lockwood Powell on first, gets a lead. Flores looks him over. Zach Heek, that's a tough one. I'll get it right. Shows bunt, but it's a ball. 1-1, the count to Heek.
Unfortunately for UTRGV, they don't have to have Flores go very deep. Their bullpen is pretty well rested. They've only gone through 5 pitchers in 2 innings.
Ooh, swing and a miss by Zach Heek.
I should say 5 pitchers in 2 games, not 2 innings. So that would be bad.
That sounds like Tony La Russa baseball. 1-2 the count to Zach Heek with Lockwood Powell on first.
So to that point, UTRGV could dip into that bullpen early. Got a slew of quality arms in there, so they definitely don't have to have Flores go 7.
Called strike 3 looking, and Heek will head back to the dugout, pretty frustrated after that at bat. And Lockwood Powell will stay where he is at first base. And now up to bat Dazon Cole, right-handed designated hitter, the junior, number 42, wearing Jackie Robinson's number. He'll come to the plate with 1 out.
So Flores, through 6 batters, has picked up 3 Ks, striking out half the guys you face. Not a bad lineup.
That's not bad after 20 months off of any kind of competitive baseball. Low and inside, ball 1.
He's got that 1 walk that he issued to Lockwood Powell to open this inning. Outside of that, and the hit by pitch to open up the first, it's been pretty good control thus far.
Not bad. Not bad for the young man. He's thrown a few balls. He wants to have the umpire give him a different one. Doesn't like the feel of that one. He'll never notice when it's given to him in another inning. But pitchers can be finicky players. Jorge Flores has a right to be finicky. Back after 20 months in Tommy John surgery. 2-0 the count. 3-0 now. That one looked right down the pike, but it was a little high in the eyes of home plate umpire Hugo Cruz. Hugo Cruz at home. Matt Stigas, the umpire at first, and Javier Cantu at third. Inside. Strike 1 to Dazon Cole. 1 away. Griffin Lockwood Powell at first for the Chippewas. Jorge Flores deals, and Cole fouls it back and out of play. That'll bring up a full count. 3-2 with 1 out. Flores starting behind again, but catching up. And as you mentioned, with a pitch count, it's not like he has anything to really worry about going deep in these counts. Wants to get as many outs as he can, but his first performance since playing for Louisiana Tech almost 2 years ago.
It's definitely going to be a case of quality over quantity. Doesn't need to go deep. Just give some nice innings.
Hit down the third base line, and it is a 5-4-3 double play to get UTRGV out of the inning. Sterling play right there by the third baseman, Tyler Torres, to start that one up. And after 1.5, your score, Central Michigan 0, UTRGV 0. We'll come back for the bottom of the second right after this.
Town Place Suites by Marriott, Edinburgh's newest destination spot and a host hotel of UTRGV athletics, with the amenities that a frequent long-stay traveler or visiting team in town to take on the V-Nation looks for. The nightlife is amplified with Ignite Lounge, a great way to wrap up a long workday or celebrate a big win. Town Place Suites by Marriott on Trenton, in between Business 281 and Sugar Road, and minutes away from the excitement of UTRGV. Town Place Suites by Marriott, Edinburgh. Join us when UTRGV Baseball hosts Stephen F. Austin at 11 and Central Michigan at 3 on Saturday. UTRGV Baseball closes out the Al Ogletree Classic versus Stephen F. Austin Sunday, 3 p.m. For more information, visit goutrgv.com.
Back in Edinburgh, Texas, on the campus of the University of Texas, Rio Grande Valley, watching some fantastic college baseball on the first weekend of NCAA Division I college baseball all across the country. Central Michigan, one of many Midwestern and Northeastern teams that want to head south for that first weekend, make sure they get their at-bats in. And down here at the very tip of Texas, no place better. UTRGV and Central Michigan tied 0-0 going into the bottom of the second inning. And at the plate is the first baseman, number 22, Austin Sehner. Fouled back out of play. 1-1 count on the senior, Austin Sehner. Not off to the best of starts after 2 games, 1 for 6. Strike, swinging strike off of a curve there. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Austin Sehner. Austin Sehner, big dude, 6'3", 180. I'm sorry, 6'3", 205, the senior from St. Louis, Missouri. 1-2 the count. Pat Leatherman dealing from the dish. Hit right back up the middle. It goes off of Leatherman's glove into the second baseman, but Sullivan can't handle it. That should be an infield hit, in my opinion, for Mr. Austin Sehner. A hit it is, his second of the season. 7 at-bats. Once again, UTRGV for the second straight inning with a leadoff batter on first. That'll bring up to bat the hero from last night's game, Elijah Alexander. Alexander came on in the late innings. But Bryan, he came on in the 9th, got his game-winning hit in the 10th.
Yeah, defensive substitution in the 9th. Out in left field, came into the 10th. And what a moment to have to step up as a sophomore, get your first hit of the year in extra innings. Got a little poker that dropped into left field to score the winning run.
Not a bad way to start the season. 1 ball, no strikes to Elijah Alexander. Leatherman goes back to first. Not in time to get Austin Sehner. Infield hit gets him at first base.
And it's interesting, too. You'll notice Leatherman's not even looking over at first. He's just throwing to first, which means he may be having a difficult time picking up the UTRGV base runners through his peripheral.
That could be. Foul ball from Alexander. It was way down the left field line and out of play.
But
1 ball and 1 strike.
But to your point, Clay, Sehner's a hard one to miss at 6'2".
Yeah. 6'3", according to this. He could be. He's one of the tallest on the team. Matter of fact, the tallest, if these numbers are right, according to the roster. The senior at first gets back. Another pickoff move from Pat Leatherman. You could be right there, Bryan. He might just not be able to pick up the runner because it's not like UTRGV is getting a huge lead out there. He just seems to want to throw back there every once in a while just to make sure he still can. And there he goes again. Leatherman back to first. Senior back safe. Elijah Alexander waiting patiently at the plate.
And this is a tough time to pitch. He's got the sun in his eyes this point in the day down here at Edinburgh, and that could be affecting his ability to see what's going on over his left shoulder on the base path.
Let me correct the count on Alexander. It's 0-2, and he swings at an 0-2 pitch. But it goes, dribbles down the line. It goes foul. That'll be a foul ball. That first pitch for Alexander was a swinging strike. But silly me, I went with the scoreboard. Thought it was 1-1, but 0-2 is the count with no outs. And a man at first for Elijah Alexander.
This could be a big turning point for UTRGV. Remember also that Austin Senior is only in his third game as being a first baseman, so he's still trying to adjust to the transition from second to first. No doubt that's going through his mind as he's on the base paths.
Ball one. 1-2 the count to Alexander. Pat Leatherman, the junior, on the mound for Central Michigan, the Chippewas. 1-1 after 2 games here at the Al Ogletree Classic. A loss last night to UTRGV. And it was an early game yesterday that they lost to, that they beat Stephen F. Austin.
Correct.
Oh, swinging right around Alexander, looking for the hole in second, but ranging wide was Jason Sullivan. Goes deep in the hole and gets Alexander out at first. But that's the only play he's able to make. And Austin Senior ends up at second as Tyler Torres, the number 7 hitter, comes up to bat for UTRGV. The third baseman, sophomore, batting .444. As we mentioned, in only his third game of the season. What will Leatherman do now with Austin Senior directly behind him? I think it'll be a little easier to keep an eye on him, but no one seems to want to keep him close. Leatherman deals to Tyler Torres. Ball 1 is the call from Hugo Cruz.
Senior will be a tough base runner to cover at second because you don't want to leave big gaps to third or first, so you don't really want to cheat over too much. But at the same time, he could also be a big shield against that shortstop.
Leatherman looks to Senior on third, then deals to home. Ball 2 gets past the catcher, Griffin Lockwood Powell. And that sends Austin Senior to third. We're going to call that a pass ball? I believe so. I think he touched it with his glove. Probably should have gotten that one. That was a tough pitch. Tough pitch for Lockwood Powell to handle, but it gets past him, and Senior heads to third, 90 feet away from becoming the first run in this game, and it's a 2-0 count. Hitters count to Tyler Torres. Right-handed batter facing the right-handed Pat Leatherman on the mound. Bottom of the second inning, no score as of yet. Strike right down the pipe to Tyler Torres. 2-1 the count with 1 away.
Torres is a dead pull hitter for UTRGV. He has a double so far this season, and quite a double it was. It was about 3 feet short of being a long ball last night's game. So if you put something inside about belt high, look out.
Torres looking for that pitch. Oh, right, comebacker right up the middle. Goes right through the wickets of Leatherman. That'll score the first runner of the game as Austin Senior comes home on a single by Tyler Torres. Pat Leatherman had to do an Irish jig to get out of the way of that one. Snapped his hands in frustration as he realized it was going right back up the middle for a nice hit by Tyler Torres. Good piece of hitting there. Had the hitters count 2-0, looked for something to hit and got it. Took it right back up the middle. And Austin Senior comes home for the first run of the game. 1-0 UTRGV in the bottom of the second. And that will bring up the catcher, Oliver Klausner, the fourth. Strike 1 to Klausner. Klausner bats left, throws right. catcher.
Freshman. Big moment for the freshman here.
Freshman from right down the road in Mercedes, Texas. Only about a 20-25 minute drive from here. The school of Mercedes High School with a couple of players on this team. UTRGV, that is. Pickoff sends Torres back to first. Now Leatherman deals outside, high and outside for ball one. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. 1-0 the score. UTRGV with the lead over the Chippewas of Central Michigan in the Al Ogletree Classic. Got some gusts every once in a while. Wind starting to pick up a little bit here in the afternoon as it will in the springtime. Strike 2 right down the pike. Klausner doesn't even swing at that one. 1 ball and 2 strikes. It's the way it is in the springtime here in the Rio Grande Valley, Brian. In the springtime, it'll be nice weather, but it will get windy on occasion.
And no hills or mountains within 150 miles of here to knock it down.
That's right. Back to first, throws Leatherman. Torres with about a 3-foot lead.
Torres not known for his speed. He's not going to dart down the path.
I can't imagine that he will. The 1-2 to Klausner, and strike 3, swinging. Klausner is the second out of the inning. That brings up the number 9 hitter for UTRGV, Ryan Fish. Junior switch hitter.
And this will be our first look at Fish so far this season. He's that pivotal 5th outfielder Coach Matlock has talked about at length. He's got 5 guys that he think could take any of those 3 outfield spots.
Leatherman goes back to first, no joy. We mentioned Fish, a switch hitter. He is batting left against the right-handed Pat Leatherman on the mound for Central Michigan. 2 away for Fish, the number 9 hitter, with Torres on the mound, high and outside, ball 1.
Of course, already this season we've seen a slew of outfielders. We've seen Dees, we've seen McMahon, Alexander, Grubbs, and now you're getting a look at Fish. Those are your 5.
It's a good time of year to take a look at who you've got inside, ball 2. Fish had to duck his shoulder there, keep from getting hit. Tyler Torres with an RBI in this game is on first. He knocked home Austin Senior earlier in this inning to give UTRGV the 1-0 lead. 1 on, 2 outs, 2-0 count, and there's strike 1 to Ryan Fish.
Well, Leatherman doing a nice job of trying to work the corners. Tyler Torres burned him on an off-speed pitch that kind of floated toward the middle of the plate. It's not where Leatherman's going to live. He's going to live high and inside, low and away.
That one, little high cheese for Ryan Fish. Strike 2. 2-2-2, the count for Ryan Fish with a man on first. 1-0 lead for UTRGV. Wind blowing out from right to left. Basically from south to north. Pickoff move, no joy once again for Leatherman. Looks it over as Fish gets settled in the batter's box. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Leatherman gets the strikeout, but not before UTRGV scores their first run of the game. Tyler Torres with the RBI, single up the middle as Austin Senior comes home for third, and UTRGV goes into the third with a 1-0 lead. We'll be right back to Edinburgh with more UTRGV baseball.
University Draft House. Civilized burgers for uncivilized appetites.
It's the most wonderful time of the year, the 2018 WAC Basketball Tournament at the Orleans Arena in Las Vegas. March 7th through 10th, 14 games, 4 days of WAC madness. Be there for the triumph. Get your tickets now at GoUTRGV.com. See you in WAC Vegas.
Back in Edinburgh, Texas, college baseball on a beautiful Saturday afternoon in the Rio Grande Valley. It's UTRGV hosting the Chippewas of Central Michigan. And after 2 innings, UTRGV with a 1-0 lead. Jorge Flores on the mound. Showing bunt is the batter for Central Michigan. The number 8 hitter, Jacob Crum, right-handed batter, facing the left-handed Jorge Flores. 1 ball. 2-0 now the count. Flores just missed on the outside corner. Flores seemed to be getting better throughout an inning. Has a little trouble at the first with his control, at least did in the first 2 innings, but then once he gets revved up out there, seems to dominate.
Like an old inline 6-cylinder engine. Got to get him up to speed, but once he's there.
Got to get it warmed up. And that's ball 4. And despite showing bunt on his very first pitch, the number 8 hitter, Jacob Crum, reaches first base on a 4-pitch walk from Jorge Flores. That brings up the number 9 hitter for Central Michigan, the right-handed batter, shortstop Jordan Patty, the freshman. Yet to get his first hit in this season. Shows bunt, takes it down the first base line, but bunt's foul. That'll be strike 1. No balls and 1 strike to Jordan Patty. Looking down the line for signals with a runner on first. Jacob Crum there after a 4-pitch walk from Jorge Flores, UTRGV, with a 1-0 lead here in the top of the 3rd inning.
Florida's now 32 pitches in, 16 of them strikes.
Make that 17. Strike 1 to Jordan Patty. It's a 1-2 count. I'm sorry, 0-2. Once again, that's what I get for checking the scoreboard instead of my own memory. 0-2 to Jordan Patty. The number 9 hitter sends it straight to the shortstop. Lines it out and gets it back to first for a 6-3 double play. That was a sinking liner, but it did not sink fast enough. And Ivan Estrella starts the double play after the line out by Jordan Patty. Crum got way down the line. Thought it was going to drop as well, but it did not. And so Jorge Flores gets out of a bit of a jam. Erases his walk. And sends strike 1 to the leadoff hitter, Zach Gillis, as we are through getting ready to start our 2nd time through the Chippewas lineup. Jorge Flores deals.
Oh.
As we said, folks, seems to be quite a routine here with Jorge Flores. Walk or hit the first batter and then settle down and make him look silly. 0-2 the count with 2 away. Oh, Jorge Flores thought that was strike 3. Started running off the bag, but Hugo Cruz says, settle down, young man.
Well, we talked coming in about that plus off-speed pitch of Flores, that slurvy, curvy little maneuver, and it has been filthy thus far.
Foul ball down the first base line for Zach Gillis.
And you know, Clay, several years ago when he was at Hidalgo, had the privilege of covering Jorge Flores. He was just starting to work with that off-speed pitch. Had kind of been toying around with the idea of using it as his primary pitch in place of that fastball. Because his fastball is not going to hit the 90s. It's a mid-80s. Occasionally can hit the high 80s part of it. But when you can mix in that off-speed pitch, look out.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 away for Jorge Flores. What's the pitch count on him now? Getting close.
Flores is up to 41 pitches. 19 strikes.
Oh, my goodness. Just caught the lower outside corner for the left-handed batter, Zach Gillies, who goes down looking on a called strike 3. And after 2.5 innings, UTRGV with the lead 1-0. We will return for the bottom half of the third when we come back for more UTRGV baseball.
This weekend is homecoming at UTRGV, and whether you graduated from a legacy institution or UTRGV, we would like to welcome you back to campus to be part of UTRGV athletics. The festivities kick off and end with UTRGV men's basketball Thursday and Saturday night at 7. Make sure you come early for the Saturday pregame tailgate party starting at 5 in the parking lot. UTRGV baseball is also home this weekend, hosting UIC Friday through Sunday. For more information on coming home, visit utrgvnation.com/homecoming.
I decided to go to college to further my education and define my purpose in the world and be a part of something much bigger than myself.
I wanted to set up the best possible future for myself, both academically and athletically. I try to learn from everyone, whether that be professors, my teammates, or other student athletes.
I try to see everyone as an opportunity to learn. Everyone has a story to tell, and I think there's a moral and something you can learn from it.
Nobody for UTRGV. Center fielder, number 10, Coleman Grubbs.
We are back in Edinburgh, UTRGV baseball. UTRGV hosting Central Michigan in both teams' third game of the Al Ogletree Classic. Stephen F. Austin University, the other team down here right now. It's strike 1 to the UTRGV batter, the leadoff hitter, number 10, Coleman Grubbs.
Grubbs led off the first with a single.
This one fouled straight back and over our heads for strike 2. Pat Leatherman with a quick 0-2 count against Grubbs, who, as you mentioned, hit him for a little better than a bloop single to right center field. It was well hit. Landed in short center, however, over the second baseman's head. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Coleman Grubbs' second at-bat is a short one. 3 pitches, 3 strikes, and 1 away now for UTRGV.
And that's the first time that a leadoff batter has been put out so far in this game. Through 2 1/3 innings, 5 up, 5 on.
Could be that Pat Leatherman is starting to hit his stride as well. Anthony Gomez will test that theory, comes to the plate. The UTRGV second baseman. Ball 1 to Gomez. Look at Leatherman's delivery, Brian. Look how long he holds that knee up when he goes into the full stretch and just goes completely motionless with his knee in the air.
I was just thinking about that as well, Clay.
Not that time. That first pitch he did. That's a long fly ball to left field. Heading for it is the left fielder. Catches it. In play. Close to being a foul ball, right on the line. But instead, it's Jacob Crum coming up with the play. He was about 7-8 feet from the fence on that one. Anthony Gomez gave it a ride, but it's just a long fly ball out. And 2 away now for UTRGV, leading 1-0 here in the bottom of the third inning. Up to bat, the designated hitter, the lefty, Aaron Dees. Once again, Leatherman with that first pitch to holds it a little longer. Freeze frame, if you will. And gets the strike to Aaron Dees. Low and outside, ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 away here in the bottom of the third. UTRGV holding on to that 1-0 lead against the Chippewas as the wind continues to kick up a little bit, going from south to north, from left field to right field here. The swing and the hit straight down the first base line, and it's an easy ground ball to the first baseman. Evan Kratt steps on the bag. 3 up, 3 down for Central Michigan. And we will head to the top of the 4th inning here in Edinburgh, Texas. 4th game of the Al Ogletree Classic. And right now the score, 1-0 UTRGV. We will be back with more UTRGV baseball.
Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, now open in Edinburgh, across the street from the university. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, a proud sponsor of UTRGV athletics, showing everyone one love. Whether it's a pregame meal or a postgame celebration, Raising Cane's has got you covered, open late and ready to serve. Raising Cane's, now open in Edinburgh, across from the university, serving nothing but one love.
On the field,
In the pool.
on the court.
We wear our game faces under the lights.
But sometimes our toughest opponents aren't wearing a uniform.
Instead, we confront them internally.
Mental illness affects 1 in 4 adults in the United States.
And suicide is the 2nd leading cause of death among college students.
If you or someone you know is fighting a silent battle,
Please speak up and ask for help.
You are not alone.
Back for the top of the 4th inning on a beautiful day for college baseball in Edinburgh, Texas. UTRGV hosting Central Michigan. UTRGV with a 1-0 lead over the Chippewas. Jorge Flores back on for what will probably be his final inning pitching, of course, we mentioned, as he throws ball 1 to the number 2 hitter, Jason Sullivan of Central Michigan. Jorge Flores, first pitching action in a competitive game for 20 months, coming off of Tommy John surgery. That one taken down the right field line, but curved foul by Sullivan. Count 1-1.
Flores now at 47 pitches.
You mentioned before that his count was probably 50 today, but you thought also that he'd be able to finish this inning.
Sure.
Nope. Oh, beautiful line out. That'll save you some pitches as Sullivan lines it straight to a stretched out Austin Senior at first. Makes the nice play on that one. Heading into the right field, right down the right field line to catch that one for the line out, 1 away.
He needed every centimeter of that 6'3" to get to that one.
He certainly did. And as you also mentioned, Brian, no one in the bullpen as of yet for UTRGV. So Coach Derek Madlock apparently has some faith in what he's seen from Flores yet. Inside, ball 1 to the first baseman. I'm sorry, the right fielder, Daniel Robinson.
You know, pitch counts are a funny thing sometimes because you say, I'd like to get 50 out of him coming off Tommy John, but if he's coming out and he's throwing smooth and easy and clean, and especially if his arm is feeling good, you don't want to mess with that either.
Absolutely not. Robinson fouls one off, and it's 1-1 with 1 away. Sends that one down. Robinson to the third baseman. Right across for an easy out. Tyler Torres gobbled that one up. Didn't allow it to get too deep in that infield dirt. Sends it right across to Senior for the 5-3 putout. 2 away. And still not quite at 50 yet.
That's 51.
51. 51 pitches now for Jorge Flores, who deals ball 1 to the cleanup hitter, Evan Kratt, right-handed batter, first baseman. Ooh, foul ball backing into the Central Michigan dugout area. But some alert Chippewas. Make sure it does no damage. 1-1 the count to Evan Kratt. Ball 2, low and inside from Jorge Flores. The former Louisiana Tech Texter, now with UTRGV after Tommy John surgery. Deals ball 3, high and outside. 3-1 the count now to Evan Kratt. Flores looks for the signal from Oliver Klausner. Klausner set up outside, but that pitch went inside for ball 4. And with 2 away, Flores issues the walk. Brings up the catcher. Got 2 freshman catchers in this game. Just mentioned Oliver Klausner for UTRGV. And up to bat, the freshman catcher for Central Michigan, Griffin Lockwood Powell. Flores looks back. Kratt to first. Kratt back, takes a lead. 2 away. Here's the first pitch. Fouled off to the right-hand side by Lockwood Powell.
Foul ball.
Starting to get a little cloud cover in here. And the wind actually starting to change just a tad, getting a breeze or 2 in here in the press box, directly behind home plate. Another foul off the bat of Lockwood Powell. 0-2 the count with 2 away. Flores trying to shut it down and make his first outing with his new team, UTRGV, a scoreless one. Flores looks, deals. It's a fly ball to right, short right, and on to get it is Bryan Fish. You mentioned his first time in the outfield early in this season, the 3rd game for UTRGV. Fish comes up with a good play that keeps Jorge Flores with a clean sheet through 4 innings. After 3.5, it is UTRGV 1, Central Michigan nothing. You're listening to UTRGV Baseball.
Town Place Suites by Marriott, Edinburgh's newest destination spot and a host hotel of UTRGV athletics, with the amenities that a frequent long-stay traveler or visiting team in town to take on the V-Nation looks for. The nightlife is amplified with Ignite Lounge, a great way to wrap up a long workday or celebrate a big win. Town Place Suites by Marriott on Trenton, in between Business 281 and Sugar Road, and minutes away from the excitement of UTRGV. Town Place Suites by Marriott, Edinburgh.
Back in Edinburgh, Texas, college baseball on a sunny Saturday afternoon. UTRGV, the home team, leading Central Michigan right now 1-0 as we go to the bottom of the 4th inning.
Nobody for UTRGV. Shortstop.
And up for UTRGV to face Pat Leatherman is the cleanup hitter, the shortstop, number 13, Ivan Estrella. Got a pitcher warming up in the bullpen for UTRGV, as we expected, as Jorge Flores has gone over 50. Pitches without allowing a run. Wow, straight up center field. Ivan Estrella goes, but not quite deep enough. About 5 feet short of the warning track for the center fielder, Zach Gillies, who comes up with the catch and the first out of the bottom half of the 4th inning. 1 away.
Now it looks like UTRGV may have 3 pitchers up down there, 1 throwing, 2 going through their stretches.
All right. Austin Senior, the only man to score a run this afternoon, up to bat, shows bunt on the first pitch, called strike. 0-1 with 1 away to the senior, Austin Senior. Strike 2 to Austin Senior. Leatherman has gotten progressively better as this game has gone along. Foul ball behind the plate. Still 0-2 to Austin Senior.
And up throwing for UTRGV, that's Juan Carillon II. He of the 2 strong innings in game 1 today.
Interesting. Leatherman deals. Base hit up the middle to third. And put out, easy put out at first for Zach Heek. Throws it across. Slow roller gets Austin Senior in plenty of time. 2 away for UTRGV. Interesting, Derek Matlock told our SID, Jonah Goldberg, he thought it would be maybe Jared Quartier or Adrian Gonzalez coming in first out of the bullpen, I thought.
Who are both seated.
Okay.
So they're out there in the pen right now staying warm. And it could be that he wanted to get a certain number of pitches out of Carillon's arm today.
True.
He got some of those in game 1, thought, well, you're warm already. Go out there, do some stretches, some soft toss.
Ooh, base hit to left field for Elijah Alexander. Good hit, that one. Curved back over the shortstop's head, had no chance for that one. Alexander showing some skills his first couple of games here with UTRGV. The sophomore, his first season here out of Ventura College, hometown of Camarillo, California, and now currently at first base with 2 outs. As Tyler Torres already has 1 RBI in this game. Leatherman with his laissez-faire pickoff move.
He's
kind of an eephus pitch back to first.
He's buying property over there at first base.
He does not like these white pants of UTRGV and wants to get them as dirty as possible as soon as possible. Now he'll deal his first pitch to Tyler Torres, who takes it down the right field line and foul.
Still nobody up in the pen for Central Michigan just yet. Not that they would think to necessarily. Leatherman has been very solid.
You mentioned that they had thrown a lot of pitchers so far in this Al Ogletree Classic. Alexander takes a short lead off of first. Torres at the plate. Leatherman goes back to first. Alexander safe, sliding in.
Central Michigan's chewed through 10 pitchers so far, 6 of which came in game 1 of today against Stephen F. Austin. Now, granted, some of those pitchers haven't dug into their arm very deeply. They're only in for 10 or 15 pitches. But all the same, a lot of guys have already touched the dirt for Central Michigan.
0-1 pitch to Tyler Torres, who takes it down the left field line and foul into the seats. Got a good rip on that one. Perhaps a little bit early. Alexander will go back to first. 0-2 the count with 2 away to Tyler Torres. His RBI single to center field back in the second inning brought home Austin Senior for our only run of the game as UTRGV leads Central Michigan 1-0 here in the bottom of the fourth inning.
We'll probably talk through the signs very briefly out there. Remember, the sun is in Leatherman's eye, so his vision to home is not going to be optimal at this point.
0-2 count. 2 away. The pitch to Torres, swing and a miss. Catcher drops it, but sends it to first for the strikeout. And that is the end of the fourth inning.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's direct your attention down the first.
So, after 4 complete, UTRGV continues to lead by the slimmest of margins, 1-0 over Central Michigan. We'll welcome in a new pitcher for UTRGV when we come back for the top of the 5th and more UTRGV baseball.
University Draft House. Civilized burgers for uncivilized appetites.
Good sportsmanship isn't defined by a scoreboard.
It isn't defined by how high you can jump or how fast you can run.
Good sportsmanship is all about character.
It is about doing your best for your coaches and teammates.
It's about having respect for your opponents, the officials, and the fans.
Good sportsmanship is winning with class and losing with dignity.
It is fair play, perseverance, and team spirit.
Good sportsmanship is what unites us.
We are the Western Athletic Conference.
This is just the beginning of baseball season, and we want you to come out more on.
Back at UTRGV Baseball Stadium, Edinburgh, Texas. University of Texas Rio Grande Valley with a 1-0 lead over Central Michigan University. And a new pitcher on the mound for UTRGV, and Coach Derek Matlock going with all locals today on the mound is Juan Carrion II out of Blackhawk College. But before that, McAllen Memorial High School, just a 10-minute drive away from here. Comes onto the mound for his second appearance of this early season. Had a good outing last night. Or actually, I'm sorry, earlier this afternoon. And he pitches, and it's a bunt, and it's a successful bunt right there by Zach Heek. Heek put it on the first base side, about halfway in between the first baseman and the pitcher, right where you want to. Carrion tried to get to it, but wasn't able to get the ball to the first baseman, Austin Senior, and so Zach Heek is safe.
Carrion a little slow to come off the mound there. And that bunt just absolutely died, so Senior came forward. Again, Senior still learning first base.
Senior goes down to first after the ball to Dazon Cole.
And so with that little miscommunication between Carrion and Senior, Carrion slow to get to first base to help cover. Not that Senior really had an opportunity to get it to him that quickly.
Swinging strike one off the arm of Juan Carrion. Here's the pitch, strike two. Dazon Cole looked at that one, caught the outside edge of the plate for the right-handed designated hitter. And swinging strike three. Juan Carrion gets his first strikeout of this appearance. And the first out of the inning after Zach Heek reaches on a bunt.
Not afraid to see Heek lay that one down. During BP for Central Michigan, every player took 10 swings. The last 2 of those were bunts. So everyone on this lineup capable of and certainly has practiced the ability to lay down that bunt if necessary.
Steve Jackson likes that from his team. Great pickoff move from Carrion. Gets it to Senior. He caught Zach Heek flat-footed. Heek asking the umpire, he's wondering if that was a balk perhaps. The umpire says, no sir, you are out. Beautiful pickoff move by Juan Carrion. Gives Heek a smile as he crosses in front of the mound back to the dugout. Carrion erases his mistake covering the bunt by Heek and gets him out on the pickoff play. 1-3 the out there. 2 away now and already 1 strike.
And we can talk about balks for a second. The textbook definition of a balk is if the pitcher makes a move to deceive the runner. In this case, the runner was 2 steps down the baseline when Carrion turned. Kind of hard to be deceived when you're trying to steal.
True. True. 0-2, 2 away. Klausner sets up outside, but it's a little too far outside. That'll be ball 1, 1-2 the count. Carrion just completely caught Heek flat-footed there. I'm not surprised. I was startled by the move myself. Straight back up the middle. Crum gets a hit. Bounces over the pitcher's mound, hits the pitcher's mound, bounces over Carrion's head and into short center field. Some of those dangerous comeback plays you see a lot of in college baseball, especially with the aluminum bats. But Jacob Crum gets a hit, the second hit of the game for Central Michigan.
And that makes the pickoff that much more valuable for Carrion, because now, had that not happened, easy to think Heek would be standing on third.
With the number 9 hitter up at bat, Jordan Patty, right-handed batter, the shortstop, facing Juan Carrion. 1 ball and no strike, 2 away. Strike 1. Looking. Carrion's got some movement on that fastball. Guys are a little indecisive looking at it. Not indecisive that one. Patty gets it to second, on to short. Put out 4-6 for the third out of the inning. UTRGV lets 2 base runners on, but 1 picked off and the other one put out at second. And after 4.5 innings, your score, UTRGV 1, Central Michigan nothing. We'll be back for the bottom of the 5th inning with more UTRGV baseball after this.
Life is about moments. If you fight, I fight. If I fight, we fight.
You be there and watch what I do when the bell rings.
Do you have that real look in your eye that when you look at yourself in the mirror, you can ask yourself this question: did I give everything I got? Did I lay it all on the line? Or am I cheating myself?
What you say, Quaid? See ya! Right at it. Oh! He's done it again!
So whatever you're going to do, claim.
Back in Edinburgh, UTRGV baseball. The host, University of Texas Rio Grande Valley, hosting Central Michigan University. The Chippewas on hand for the Al Ogletree Classic. UTRGV opens every baseball season with the Coach Al Classic, inviting a couple of teams down. Stephen F. Austin down here as well. UTRGV got an extra inning win over the Chippewas last night, looking to make it 2-0 versus Central Michigan today, and so far a 1-0 lead. Up at the plate, Oliver Klausner, the 4th. 0 for 1 in this game. Facing Pat Leatherman, starting his 5th inning. 4 innings pitched, 4 hits allowed, 1 run, 1 earned. 6 strikeouts in this game, and a pop fly by Klausner is taken in short center field by Zach Gillies for 1 away. That'll bring up the number 9 hitter, the switch hitter for UTRGV, Ryan Fish. He'll bat left. against the right-handed pitcher, Pat Leatherman.
Fish 0 for 1 with a K.
One of those 6 strikeouts Leatherman's already thrown. There's that odd delivery again. Strike 1 to Ryan Fish. Not every pitch, but some pitches Leatherman just holds that knee up.
Makes it tough on the batter. You don't know how quickly that pitch is coming.
See, didn't do it that time. Swinging a foul ball back into the net by Ryan Fish. 0-2 the count with 1 away.
UTRGV also trying to hold Central Michigan to less than 6 runs. They defeated Stephen F. Austin 6-4 yesterday. Lost to UTRGV 7-6 and 10. So far, so good.
Leatherman holds it, looks, deals. Fish fouls that one off. Back left. And the count remains 0-2 with 1 away.
Fish taking a couple of nice hacks so far. Not afraid to swing the bat.
Certainly not. Fish is, oh my, that one must have just caught the outside edge. Ryan Fish caught looking for called strike 3. That'll be 2 away as the leadoff hitter comes up for the 3rd time in this game for UTRGV. Coleman Grubbs, 1 for 2 with a strikeout today.
Single to lead off the first. No better time than now to get someone on the pond.
Leatherman holds, sends it inside. Caught Grubbs maybe on the hands a little bit. An easy 4-3 putout for the final out of the inning. And after 5 complete, our score remains UTRGV 1, Central Michigan nothing. We'll head to the top of the 6th. As Juan Carrion comes to the mound for UTRGV, we'll return with more UTRGV baseball after this.
Join us as UTRGV Women's Basketball hosts Utah Valley, Saturday, 7 p.m. It's senior night. For more information, visit goutrgv.com. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, now open in Edinburgh, across the street from the university. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, a proud sponsor of UTRGV athletics, showing everyone one love. Whether it's a pregame meal or a postgame celebration, Raising Cane's has got you covered, open late and ready to serve. Raising Cane's, now open in Edinburgh, across from the university, serving nothing but one love.
Welcome back to Edinburgh, Texas. UTRGV Baseball Stadium. Clay Williams, along with Brian Smith, bringing you coverage of UTRGV Baseball and the Al Ogletree Classic. Love you, Coach Al. Start the top of the 6th, Juan Carrion, after a tremendous pickoff play in his first inning back in the 5th. Starts off with strike 1 against the leadoff hitter for Central Michigan, Zach Gillies, for his 2nd inning of work. Works fast, Juan Carrion does. Gets the ball and deals right back for strike 2, a quick strike 2. Zach Gillies better get into the game or he's going to be headed back pretty quickly. There's outside ball 1. 1-2, the count.
And what you have to love about Carrion, there is no giddy up in that delivery. It is straight power. He's coming from the mound home.
Foul. Foul ball, a little dribbler to the right. Count remains 1-2.
The way the major leagues keep going, Carrion's going to be the exact kind of pitcher they want. No need for a pitch clock.
Called strike 3. Zach Gillies can't believe it. Looks back and shakes his head. at the umpire, Hugo Cruz. Called strike 3 for Juan Carrion. The former McAllen Memorial Mustang on the mound for the second time today. Second consecutive game. Pitched against Stephen F. Austin, an 11 a.m. start. And throws the ball to the number 2 hitter for Central Michigan, Jason Sullivan. Right-hander facing. Calls time for a second. Back in, strike. 1-1.
Coach Matlock getting a good look at what Carrion can do in a variety of situations. He pitched the final 2 innings of Game 1, coming in middle relief here.
The lefty Carrion deals just outside. Ball 2, 2-0. No, 2-1. 2-1 to Jason Sullivan. Second baseman takes a ball, 3-1 the count. To the quick dealing Juan Carrion II. The junior. Sullivan sends it straight to Ivan Estrella, who sends it right across to Austin Senior. Senior has to come off the bag, tags for the out, but gets clipped as he is up in the air and goes down hard. And he'll be attended to by a trainer. Not the runner's fault there. Senior had to come off the bag, make a jump to try and tag Sullivan as he was going to first base. Looks like Senior might be getting ready to get back up. And he'll be taken off. And he's not able to put any weight on that leg. So we might see another first baseman out there. But that was the end of the top of the 6th inning. And your score, 1-0 UTRGV.
So on the second out.
Oops.
One more out to come.
When I saw everyone head over to Senior, I thought they were heading towards the dugout.
It kind of looked that way, didn't it? The way everybody
it really
moved
did.
that direction.
It fooled me for a moment. I thought there were 3 outs when I saw everybody rush towards the dugout. But, of course, they were just going to see their teammate, Austin Senior, who's taken off. Coming in at first base.
Now batting right fielder, number 19, Daniel Robinson.
2 outs.
It's going to be Roger Varela III taking over at first for UTRGV.
Roger Varela III, junior from Yuma, Arizona, takes over at first for the injured Austin Senior. Juan Carrion on the mound, deals to Daniel Robinson, the number 3 hitter for Central Michigan. That's 2 balls and no strikes with 2 outs. Nobody on the base paths. Carrion deals again. That's a strike, 2-1 the count. It's got to be tough for UTRGV out there in the field to see one of their teammates, one of their senior leaders, to go down like that, be carried off the field. They've got to keep it together and keep going. Carrion deals. Robinson gets it to second base. That's a 4-3 put out for now 3 outs. And the end of the top of the 6th inning. We'll head to the bottom of the 6th. And we will be right back to Edinburgh, Texas. More college baseball on the way. You are listening to UTRGV Baseball.
Join us as UTRGV women's basketball hosts Utah Valley, Saturday, 7 p.m. It's senior night. For more information, visit goutrgv.com. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, now open in Edinburgh, across the street from the university. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, a proud sponsor of UTRGV athletics, showing everyone one love. Whether it's a pregame meal or a postgame celebration, Raising Cane's has got you covered, open late and ready to serve. Raising Cane's, now open in Edinburgh, across from the university, serving nothing but one love.
Welcome back to Edinburgh, Texas, UTRGV baseball field as the golf cart carries off the senior, Austin Senior. Towel over his head. Lower half of his left leg taped up in a brace. He'll head to the trainer's office, and our best wishes for that young man. As he heads off, Roger Varela takes his place. But up to bat for UTRGV to start the bottom of the 6th inning. Anthony Gomez, the number 2 hitter, second baseman. UTRGV nursing that 1-0 run over Central Michigan University. Pat Leatherman still on the mound for his 6th inning. And he deals ball 1 to Anthony Gomez.
You have to kind of feel for Leatherman. He's done well. 5 strong innings coming into the 6th. Only the 1 run. That's a pretty good performance. But he's been outdueled by UTRGV so far with Carillon and Flores.
2 balls and no strikes to Anthony Gomez, the number 2 hitter, UTRGV, facing Pat Leatherman. As you mentioned, Brian, a stellar outing for Leatherman, who gets strike 1 against Gomez, 2-1 the count.
I mean, if you told most pitchers collegiately, if you're going to come out and through 5 innings only allow 1 run on 4 hits, they'd say, you know, I'll take that for the most part.
Ooh, foul ball off the bat of Gomez. Bounces off the netting, protecting the Central Michigan dugout. Now, Steve Jackson has to be very happy with Leatherman's outing here today as he pitches into his 6th inning.
Essentially, this is your 3rd starter, so you're not looking at your staff ace. You're looking at one of the guys that you're expecting just to give you quality innings.
Gomez pops it up and back over our heads here in the press box for his 2nd strike. 2-2 the count. No outs. UTRGV leads Central Michigan 1-0 the score in the bottom of the 6th inning. On a beautiful, if a bit breezy, Saturday afternoon in Edinburgh, Texas. Oh, swing and a miss, and Gomez corkscrewed himself into the ground, missing that one for strike 3. Leatherman with another strikeout in this game. How many is that for him now, Brian? That's
8.
8 strikeouts in 5 1/3 innings. Impressive. Up to bat for UTRGV, the lefty, Aaron Dees, number 3 hitter, comes to the plate and takes ball 1 from Leatherman. Leatherman deals, and Dees fouls it off onto the concourse here at UTRGV Baseball Stadium.
Foul ball.
Leatherman with a good day of work here. He's got 1 away and 1 ball and 1 strike on Aaron Dees, the junior. 2 strikes, swing and a miss. Fooled him on that pitch.
For me, it's that leg kick. That just dead pause at the top of that leg kick. It just, as a batter, I think it makes you antsy. You're thinking, okay, am I going to go? I'm going.
It's like you're watching a computerized baseball game, and it's refreshing. It's buffering. Pat Leatherman he's not pausing, he's buffering. Foul ball off of Aaron Dees' bat. Count still 1-2. 1 away here in the bottom of the 6th. UTRGV leading Central Michigan's Chippewas 1-0. And Hugo Cruz calls timeout so that the freshman catcher, Griffin Lockwood Powell, can head out and talk to his pitcher, Pat Leatherman.
Not surprising, given that you've got a freshman behind the dish. You know, he's still learning the signals. As a pitcher, you're learning his tendencies and how he calls them. Got to talk those things through.
They haven't had much problem today, but that one goes high for ball 2. 2-2 the count to Aaron Dees. 1 out, nobody on. Bottom of the 6th inning here in Edinburgh, Texas. The Al Ogletree Classic. Deals to Aaron Dees for strike 3. 2 up, 2 down on strikeouts for Pat Leatherman. Has no regard for lefties, righties, or switch hitters. He's an equal opportunity strikeout man.
He is dealing. You know, when I think about it, Clay, we saw kind of a similar situation in the final innings of last night's game between these two clubs, with the catcher coming out and talking with the pitcher quite a bit. That was a vision issue at that point. Cleveland ended up going over to the...
Oh, goodness. Thank goodness for these newfangled batting helmets. Ooh. As Ivan Estrella, the cleanup hitter, takes one right off the noggin. But no problems. Bounces right off.
He's good to go.
Makes a little bongo sound, but he's headed to first base after striking out the first 2 batters in the bottom of the 6th. Leatherman puts the cleanup hitter Estrella on, hitting him right in the old bean.
And Estrella's speedy. Well, back to what I was saying. We saw something similar with the Cleveland, the catcher for Central Michigan last night. There was vision problems in the late couple innings. He actually went over to the dugout, taped his hands, his fingertips up, and white tape, and then poured rosin on his hand to give himself a color difference. Take the signals across. We may have a similar, although not related issue here. With the sun in their eyes, it may be hard enough to pick up the signals, so they're having to talk their way through it.
Well, as the sun travels west, we will start to see shadow across home plate before this game is over. Pat Leatherman now dealing to Roger Varela III, and the count now 1-1 on Roger Varela. Playing first base for the injured Austin Senior, came in for the final batter of the last half inning, the top of the 6th, when Senior was injured. Varela batting with 2 outs. Leatherman goes to first, trying to pick off the speedy Estrella, but that one's not even close.
Well, this will be Varela's first at bat of the season. Did not appear in UTRGV's first 2 games.
Varela, 6'1", 190 junior. Played at Central Arizona College before coming here. Sends one down the right field line, but almost got over the head of first baseman Evan Kratt, but Kratt stretches up to get it and get the final out, coming down on the bag for out number 3. So after 6 complete innings, got a great pitcher's duel here. 3 pitchers have come into this game, and each has done themselves credit. Your score after 6, UTRGV 1, Central Michigan nothing. We'll be right back for the top of the 7th and more UTRGV baseball.
Town Place Suites by Marriott, Edinburgh's newest destination spot and a host hotel of UTRGV athletics, with the amenities that a frequent long-stay traveler or visiting team in town to take on the V-Nation looks for. The nightlife is amplified with Ignite Lounge, a great way to wrap up a long workday or celebrate a big win. Town Place Suites by Marriott on Trenton, in between Business 281 and Sugar Road, and minutes away from the excitement of UTRGV. Town Place Suites by Marriott, Edinburgh. Join us when UTRGV Baseball hosts Stephen F. Austin at 11 and Central Michigan at 3 on Saturday. UTRGV Baseball closes out the Al Ogletree Classic versus Stephen F. Austin, Sunday, 3 p.m. For more information, visit GoUTRGV.com.
The strains of the chicken dance fade away here in the top of the 7th inning. Edinburgh, Texas is the site. Juan Carrion is the pitcher. He has been a marvel today for UTRGV, trying to hold on to this 1-0 lead over Central Michigan University. In this, both teams' 3rd game of the Al Ogletree Classic. called strike. 1-1 the count.
And more surprising for me with Carrion, he pitched 2 innings in game 1. He's pitched 2 innings here. He's going into his 3rd inning of this one.
Evan Kratt claimed that the ball hit him on the shin guard. Went straight into Klausner's mitt. Home plate umpire Hugo Cruz says, not so fast, my friend. And Steve Jackson wants to come over and have a chat with umpire Cruz.
We talked about this coming in. This is a Central Michigan team that loves to crowd the plate.
And this is a pitcher, Juan Carrion, who is not afraid of going there. Not afraid of trying to take him off the plate.
And this is most likely, now granted we can't get into Hugo Cruz's head, but this is most likely an example of making a point. You can't live on the plate.
Yes.
If the pitch is close and you don't try to get out of the way or even attempt in some way to act like you're not standing on top of the plate, you're not going to get a lot of close calls here.
Plus, if it hit Kratt on the shin guard, it was just a brush because the ball did not change direction on any way, shape, or form as it went into Klausner's mitt. Derek Matlock takes advantage of Jax's conversation with the umpire to go out and visit with his pitcher and catcher. Carrion and Klausner goes out. But Kratt will stay at the plate. 1-1 the count. Nobody on, nobody out. Top of the 7th inning, UTRGV with a 1-0 lead over Central Michigan University. Clay Williams along with Bryan Smith with the call. Juan Carrion goes inside again to show he is certainly not scared. Was certainly off the plate, however, for ball 2. 2-1 the count. To the cleanup hitter for the Chippewas. And first baseman Evan Kratt sends one down the third base line. It's fair ball, but nope. It is a fair ball. Kratt stopped. Kratt thought it was a foul. Kratt stopped about 3/4 of the way down the line.
This is tough.
Oh. And it was a foul ball. Evan Kratt, have no fear. We're just as confused as you are.
Yeah. And Tyler Torres probably didn't help the case here by going in to foul territory to field that.
True. True. And with that, it's a full count on Evan Kratt, the cleanup hitter for Central Michigan. Thought he got hit on the shin guard. The ump says no. Thought he was thrown out at first. Turns out it was a foul ball. Jackson wants to get some clarification on the matter.
Yeah, he's not done.
Cruz takes off his mask. Gestures towards Steve Jackson. Heads out to the mound to do what? Have a conference with... Okay. Matt Stegas will come over from first. Javier Cantu will come over from third. And we'll have a meeting of the minds close to the mound. Interesting. And we'll be right back after this.
This weekend is homecoming at UTRGV. And whether you graduated from a legacy institution or UTRGV, we would like to welcome you back to campus to be part of UTRGV athletics. The festivities kick off and end with UTRGV men's basketball Thursday and Saturday night at 7. Make sure you come early for the Saturday pregame tailgate party starting at 5 in the parking lot. UTRGV baseball is also home this weekend, hosting UIC Friday through Sunday. For more information on coming home, visit utrgvnation.com/homecoming.
I decided to go to college to further my education and define my purpose in the world and be a part of something much bigger than myself.
I wanted to set up the best possible future for myself, both academically and athletically. I try to learn from everyone, whether that be professors, my teammates, or other student athletes.
I try to see everyone as an opportunity to learn. Everyone has a story to tell, and I think there's a moral and something you can learn from it.
All right, let's get you back up to speed. After that meeting of the minds, Hugo Cruz met with his umpiring crew at the mound and decided that the count was wrong and that actually that final pitch to Evan Kratt was ball 4. Steve Jackson came out and argued it, and the umpires agreed, and so Evan Kratt was granted a walk. He's on first with no outs. Up to the plate, the freshman catcher, Griffin Lockwood Powell, who takes strike 1 from Juan Carrion. UTRGV leading still in the top of the 7th, 1-0 the score. Foul ball. That'll bring it to 0-2 against Lockwood Powell, with no outs and a runner on first.
It's an interesting day at the UTRGV Baseball Stadium.
That was just an interesting at-bat. Kratt at first thought he had been hit on the shin pad. Shin guard. Crew said no. Then UTRGV thought they had him on a ground out to third, but was later called foul. And then granted a walk. And now it's 1-2. And that's a hit. Lockwood Powell sends it to left field for a base hit, and now, all of a sudden, whereas mere moments ago we thought that there would be 1 out and nobody on, now Juan Carrion II is dealing with 2 on and nobody out.
And you can't see it from the camera angle, but the biggest dog I've ever seen in my life is just slowly trickle away outside of left field.
That is no dog. That is a dinosaur of some sort. That is the greatest Dane.
Stranger things have happened.
My goodness. Let the big dog eat, they say. I don't want to see what he eats. As the shadows now beginning to impact home plate as we get later into the afternoon. 4:44 is the local time, Central Daylight Time here in Edinburgh, Texas. 2 on, no out. Juan Carrion deals to Zach Heek. Heek reached on a bunt his previous at-bat, but was erased by an unbelievable pickoff move by the current pitcher, Juan Carrion. Now Carrion is 1-0 count with no outs. And all of a sudden, Central Michigan is threatening with men on second and first. Kratt on first, Lockwood Powell on second. The pickoff to try to get Kratt at second. No joy.
Go pitch, baby, put it on the ground. Let's roll it up. 2 up. Let's go. Let's roll it up. Get a double play. Go, Cowboys.
Juan Carrion looks at second, checks, deals. The bunt is laid down the third base line. Third baseman takes it, gets the out. But what he set out to do, Zach Heek, was accomplished. Bunted his 2 teammates over as Evan Kratt goes to third. Griffin Lockwood Powell goes to second. And still 2 on, now 1 away with 2 runners in scoring position for Central Michigan. How many runners has Central Michigan had in scoring position today? Because Brian, I'm betting it's not that many.
This is their second. Gillis made it.
That's right. Gillis in the first inning?
Made it to third.
Made it to third in the first inning. This is the first runners they've had in scoring position since. And they've got 2 on and 1 out. And Steve Jackson is making a move. He is taking out Dazon Cole. Dazon Cole goes back to the bench. And in for Central Michigan pinch hitting is the outfielder, junior outfielder, number 14, Ty Rollin. Right-handed batter. In place of Dazon Cole. Ty Rollin, only 5'8", the junior out of Weidman, Michigan. He'll face Juan Carrion with 2 on and 2 in scoring position. Ball 1 from Juan Carrion goes low and inside. Central Michigan threatening here in the top of the 7th, down 1-0 to UTRGV. Strange at bat by Evan Kratt. leads to this. Runners on second and third, 1 out for Ty Rollin. Strike one. 1-1 the count with 1 away. Ty Rollin facing Juan Carrion II. Carrion himself only 5'6". Out of McCall Memorial High School, as we've mentioned before. Carrion. And they were sending Evan Kratt home on that one as Ty Rollin showed bunt, but bunted it foul for his second strike. 1-2 the count, men on second and third. Central Michigan looking to tie this one up. Pitchers up in the bullpen for UTRGV. Nobody up in the bullpen for Central Michigan as the Chippewas look to continue with Pat Leatherman, who's had a fantastic game thus far. But Juan Carrion on for UTRGV on the mound, facing Ty Rollin. 2 on, 1 away. Swing and a miss. Foul ball, should say. Still 1-2.
Looks like Jared Courtier up for UTRGV.
That's who Matlock thought would be the next person in for UTRGV. Carrion. This is third inning and gets the strikeout. Huge strikeout of the pinch hitter, Ty Rollin. Steve Jackson put Ty Rollin up there hoping to get something, instead gets nothing. Juan Carrion gets an important strikeout. Now it's 2 away with men on second and third. And the left fielder, Jacob Crum, right-handed batter, comes up to face Juan Carrion. Kratt on third. Lockwood Powell on second for Central Michigan, looking to tie it up. And there it is. It's a line out to second. Line out to second. Anthony Gomez ends the inning in his glove. Despite threatening with men in scoring position and 1 out, Central Michigan unable to get any runs across the board. And UTRGV continues to lead the score 1-0 as we head to the bottom of the 7th. Time to stretch it out as Take Me Out to the Ball Game is sung by our PA announcer. We will return right after this for more UTRGV baseball.
This weekend is homecoming at UTRGV, and whether you graduated from a legacy institution or UTRGV, we would like to welcome you back to campus to be part of UTRGV athletics. The festivities kick off and end with UTRGV men's basketball Thursday and Saturday night at 7. Make sure you come early for the Saturday pregame tailgate party starting at 5 in the parking lot. UTRGV baseball is also home this weekend, hosting UIC Friday through Sunday. For more information on coming home, visit utrgvnation.com/homecoming.
I decided to go to college to further my education and define my purpose in the world and be a part of something much bigger than myself.
I wanted to set up the best possible future for myself, both academically and athletically. I try to learn from everyone, whether that be professors, my teammates, or other student athletes.
I try to see everyone as an opportunity to learn. Everyone has a story to tell, and I think there's a moral and something you can learn from it.
Back in Edinburgh, UTRGV Baseball Stadium. College baseball's first weekend is underway. And playing their third game of the season against each other for the second time this year. Central Michigan and UTRGV. UTRGV leads as we go to the bottom of the 7th. 1-0 is the score. The slimmest of leads for UTRGV, and just like the tool he is of his namesake, Pat Leatherman, getting the job done for Central Michigan, coming out for his 7th inning of work, having given up only 4 hits and 1 run through 6 innings of play. Coming up to bat for UTRGV to face Pat Leatherman, last night's hero, the left fielder, number 24, Elijah Alexander, the sophomore lefty. Got the game-winning hit in the 10th inning last night against this same Chippewas team. Today he'll lead off the 7th inning against Pat Leatherman. Leatherman looks inside, deals the curve that Uncle Charlie breaks. And that's strike one to Elijah Alexander.
Central Michigan needed a good start out of Leatherman after having their lined-up tech. And boy, they have really had a great performance.
Check swing, strike two for Elijah Alexander. Down 0-2. First batter of the inning. The number 6 hitter for UTRGV. Trying to get something. UTRGV has gotten nothing against Pat Leatherman since the second inning. Pat Leatherman buffering once again, pausing at the height of his kick before dealing. Foul ball fouled off by Elijah Alexander.
And he's been efficient thus far. 77 pitches, 56 of them strikes.
You couldn't ask for a better start than that. That lone run in the second inning, the only mark. Elijah Alexander takes it to right field. That's a single for Alexander. Well hit.
Not about how hard you hit it, but where you hit it. And that is the game for Elijah Alexander. He is not going to drive that ball 400 feet. But he can hit it 125 with pinpoint precision. That's all you need.
Hit them where they ain't, as the saying goes, and Elijah Alexander certainly did that to get a single and get UTRGV, the leadoff hitter, on board. Man on for Tyler Torres, who owns the only RBI of this game. Tyler Torres in the second inning knocked Austin Senior home from third base with a single, and that's all the scoring, folks, as we've gone 6.5 innings without anyone else crossing the plate. Pat Leatherman with a man on tries the Ephus pitch pickoff move once again, leaving Tyler Torres stranded at home plate, waiting, anticipating the first pitch from Leatherman, who has pitched a gem today. He deals. Torres takes it straight down the left field line. That goes way deep into the corner. The outfielder gets it. Left fielder takes it, but not before Elijah Alexander takes third base. And Tyler Torres standing up at second with a double. Tyler Torres, torrid in this game for UTRGV today. Gets his second hit of the game. RBI single in the second, and now a double here in the bottom of the seventh for Tyler Torres, the number 7 hitter, getting it done for UTRGV. Now 2 men in scoring position with no outs, and there are pitchers up in the Central Michigan bullpen. Pat Leatherman, his freshman catcher, Griffin Lockwood Powell, will come out to talk with him. Leatherman with a fantastic first 6 innings, but here in the 7th has run into a jam, and Steve Jackson will come out. As his pitcher is ready, he calls for the left-hander in the bullpen. And that means we will have a pitching change as Pat Leatherman winds up a fantastic day, but UTRGV with no outs and 2 men aboard here in the bottom of the 7th, looking to increase that 1-0 lead. We will be back to Edinburgh and UTRGV Baseball Stadium with more UTRGV Baseball after this.
Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, now open in Edinburgh, across the street from the university. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, a proud sponsor of UTRGV Athletics, showing everyone one love. Whether it's a pregame meal or a postgame celebration, Raising Cane's has got you covered, open late and ready to serve. Raising Cane's, now open in Edinburgh, across from the university, serving nothing but one love.
On the field,
in the pool,
on the court.
We wear our game faces under the lights.
But sometimes our toughest opponents aren't wearing a uniform.
Instead, we confront them internally.
Mental illness affects 1 in 4 adults in the United States.
and suicide is the second leading cause of death among college students.
If you or someone you know is fighting a silent battle,
please speak up and ask for help.
You are not alone.
We have a new pitcher for Central Michigan. Here in the 7th inning, Pat Leatherman leaves with 6 fantastic innings, but here in the 7th leaves 2 men on in scoring position and no outs. As Jake Rather, the left-hander, comes on. Lanky left-hander, 6'3", 175. He's a sophomore from Minnetonka High School. Perhaps he has purified himself in the waters of Lake Minnetonka, as Prince once asked a companion to do. Jake Rather coming on. And he will come on in relief, and 2 men on in scoring position. Not the easiest position to come on in.
So taking a quick look at Rather, the big lefty, he's got a 3-quarter delivery. Nothing really to say about what he's bringing, but a nice little whip action will be something to watch coming on. UTRGV going to see plenty of good lefties in WAC play. This will be a good opportunity for them to get a look at a lefty here in non-conference play.
And it looks like we're going to get, that UTRGV, Derek Matlock, is going to take the opportunity to switch up the batters as well. As out taking some swings is the sophomore infielder from Mercedes, Texas, Matthew Mendoza. He'll come up to the plate. So Mendoza.
So you have to anticipate a double switch here. Mendoza's not a catcher.
Mendoza coming in for the catcher, Oliver Klausner. That's one Mercedes Tiger in for another, I believe. Referring to the high school that both these UTRGV players went to, just down the road, just down Highway 83. About just a few miles. So Derek Matlock pulling the double switch as Klausner leaves as catcher. And in batting for him is the infielder, Matthew Mendoza.
Pick up the first hit of his career in Game 1. Coach Matlock's been really happy with the power he's seeing out of Mendoza. Of course, the UTRGV faithful, remember, Mendoza, as a freshman last year, had a couple of nice hacks at it. Unable to break through. But Coach Matlock really happy what he saw in spring ball this year. Liked the power Mendoza had, liked his control at the plate. Here he is.
Jake Rather will face Matthew Mendoza with 2 men on in scoring position. Men in 2nd and 3rd for UTRGV. Rather, after warming up and Mendoza stepped into the box, Lockwood Powell went back out to have another conversation with Rather, but now it looks like Rather is ready to deal. The lanky left-hander looks in for the signal. Matthew Mendoza in prime RBI territory here. He looks at ball 1. 1-0 the count on Matthew Mendoza.
And this is the time to strike if you're UTRGV, as that shadow begins to creep toward home plate. Give it another 10 or 15 minutes. That's going to be a hard spot to bat from, because the ball's going to travel from light to dark coming at you.
Alexander on 3rd. Torres on 2nd after a double. Rather deals to Matthew Mendoza. Ooh, just catches the inside corner. And that's strike 1. 1-1 the count to Matthew Mendoza. No outs here in the bottom of the 7th. Jake Rather in relief of Pat Leatherman, who pitched to Jim, but led aboard 2 runners. Alexander with a single. Tyler Torres with a stand-up double, and now Matthew Mendoza looking to drive one or both home. That one gets away. Alexander's going to come home. And Alexander scores on a pass ball. 2nd run of the game for UTRGV. And they now lead 2-0. Tyler Torres easily makes it from 2nd to 3rd on the pass ball as well. Rather comes in. And his 3rd pitch gets away from the freshman catcher, Griffin Lockwood Powell. and a run scores. 2-0. UTRGV takes an even bigger lead here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Still no outs. Torres on third. Mendoza, that one bounces off, but Mendoza motions to Torres, stay put. Not worth losing that runner at third, especially with no outs.
Live to fight another day.
Absolutely.
Especially in a game like this, where runs have been hard to come by.
That ball hit home plate and then bounced off to our right, but did not even quite get out of the batter's circle. Jake Rather on the mound. He's allowed 1 run here. That run will be charged to Pat Leatherman, only the 2nd run. Will Torres be charged as well? 3-1 count. Ooh, my goodness, that one almost hit Matthew Mendoza, who comes away with a walk. Matthew Mendoza at first, Tyler Torres at third. And the Central Michigan pitching coach, associate head coach, Jeff Opalewski coming out. He wants to talk to Jake Rather, settle his pitcher down a little bit. Came in relief of Pat Leatherman. That was a pass ball, though, right? Not a wild pitch.
No.
So, I mean, Rather doesn't have much to worry about here, but he did give up the walk to Matthew Mendoza. Short meeting on the mound.
But to that point, there's nobody up for Central Michigan right now. This is Rather's inning. Presumably, he may get another inning, because there is no one getting warm right now.
Lockwood Powell comes out, gives instructions to the infield. He'll head behind. And Ryan Fish, the switch hitting number 9 hitter for UTRGV, comes out this time for the first time this game. He'll bat righty. Jake Rather deals and gives him strike 1. First and third. Men on first and third for UTRGV. Torres on third. Mendoza has been replaced at first by Chris Castillo. The senior will pinch run, so Mendoza's day is done after getting a walk. Rather the pitch outside. Ball 1. Chris Castillo on first. Tyler Torres on third. And no outs as Jake Rather faces Ryan Fish, the switch hitting number 9 hitter, the junior for UTRGV. Fish sends it up in the air and sends it deep to left field. And it's a home run for Ryan Fish, the number 9 hitter, with a 3-run home run in the bottom of the 7th. And UTRGV has broken this game open and now leads it 5-0. Ryan Fish, batting righty for the first time in this game, takes Jake Rather's offering deep to left field and out of the playing field into the Central Michigan bullpen, right over the fence. Big shot for Ryan Fish and some big insurance runs for UTRGV. From the 2nd until the 6th inning, there was only a 1-run deficit for Central Michigan. Now the Chippewas down 5-0 in late innings. Bases are cleared for Jake Rather, who will now face the leadoff hitter for UTRGV, Coleman Grubbs. What a big hit for the number 9 hitter, Ryan Fish. Ball 1 to Coleman Grubbs.
And prior to that home run by Fish, he had struck out swinging in each of his last 2 at-bats. Starting to dial in.
At least from the right side. Looks like he prefers that. Ball 2. Coleman Grubbs ahead 2-0 against Jake Rather. Still nobody up in the Central Michigan bullpen. But this is only the 3rd batter that Rather is. Oh my goodness. That one was coming right for us, Brian. Foul ball just gets over the netting and then was driven down by the rope that it hit and down into the stands. Ooh, inside strike. 2-2 now. 2 straight strikes. That one Coleman Grubbs thought was inside. Hugo Cruz thought otherwise, the home plate umpire. Jake Rather on the mound, dealing and looking for the first out of the inning after 4 runs have scored for UTRGV. Check swing. And it'll go down as a strikeout for Coleman Grubbs. The first out of the inning. And the first out for Jake Rather since coming in to relieve Pat Leatherman. Still the bottom of the 7th, 1 away. And UTRGV has broken it open with 4 runs in this inning for a 5-0 lead over the Chippewas of Central Michigan. The sun going lower in the sky and home plate obfuscated by the shadows of our press box here. Jake Rather pitching from sunlight into shadow. The winds have died down. Maybe about 30, 45 minutes ago they were up a little higher, but still going from south to north. Ball 1 to Anthony Gomez.
Looking for his first hit so far as he popped out to second, flew out in the 3rd, and struck out in the 6th.
Gomez looks at ball 2 down in the dirt. Jake Rather on the mound for the Chippewas in relief. It's a 2-0 count to the number 2 hitter, the second baseman Anthony Gomez. He deals. Gomez fouls it right back for strike 1. 2-1 the count. 1 away here in the bottom of the 7th. UTRGV with 4 runs in this inning. And still just 1 away. We are in the bottom of the 7th here in Edinburgh, Texas. Beautiful day for baseball. Oh, inside. They're going to say it hit Anthony Gomez. Lockwood Powell was set up inside. And it looks like Steve Jacksa has called for another lefty. And we will have a pitching change as another left hitter comes in for Central Michigan. Your score in the bottom of the 7th with 1 away. UTRGV 5, Central Michigan nothing. We'll be right back with more UTRGV baseball.
Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, now open in Edinburgh, across the street from the university. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, a proud sponsor of UTRGV athletics. Showing everyone one love. Whether it's a pregame meal or a postgame celebration, Raising Cane's has got you covered, open late and ready to serve. Raising Cane's, now open in Edinburgh, across from the university. Serving nothing but one love.
On the field,
in the pool,
on the court.
We wear our game faces under the lights.
But sometimes our toughest opponents aren't wearing a uniform.
Instead, we confront them internally.
Mental illness affects 1 in 4 adults in the United States.
and suicide is the 2nd leading cause of death among college students.
If you or someone you know is fighting a silent battle,
please speak up and ask for help.
You are not alone.
We are back. Edinburgh, Texas. UTRGV Baseball Stadium. The Al Ogletree Classic continues and will continue tomorrow as well. Beautiful day for baseball as the shadows start to lengthen here in the Rio Grande Valley of Texas. UTRGV taking on Central Michigan, and a new pitcher for the Central Michigan Chippewas. It's another left-hander. This one, a freshman, Brandon Reed, comes on in relief of Jake Rather. Jake Rather gives up 2 runs, to his credit. in only 1/3 of an inning. That'll increase your ERA. Meanwhile, 3 runs charged to the account of the starting pitcher for the Chippewas, Pat Leatherman. And that adds up to a 5-0 lead for UTRGV. As Brandon Reed faces Aaron Dees, the junior outfielder. The number 3 hitter, the designated hitter.
Dees has 2 strikeouts thus far. Prime opportunity for him to put a charge into 1.
Anthony Gomez is the man on first for UTRGV with 1 away. Swing and a miss, strike 1. For Aaron Dees. 1 on, 1 out, 0-1 count to Aaron Dees, facing Brandon Reed, the new relief pitcher for CMU. Down in the dirt, ball 1. Dees tells Gomez to hold up. Seven hits today for UTRGV, and they have made them count. None bigger than the 3-run home run just a few minutes ago by the number 9 hitter, Ryan Fish. Strike 2, looking to Aaron Dees, 1-2 the count. 1 away, Anthony Gomez, the man on first for UTRGV. Dees looks over at first. Dees deals. Sorry. Dees actually the hitter. Foul ball. Count remains 1-2. Brandon Reed on the mound for Central Michigan.
We're about to start celebrating your catch, sir.
Public address announcer Tony Farina having some fun with fans.
The fans having fun right back. Dabbing on the haters. The pitch to Aaron Dees is a ball. Evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Brandon Reed facing his first pitcher of the day. Brandon Reed, not quite as lanky a left-hander as Jake Rather, 6'1". Rather was 6'3". The freshman from Joliet, Illinois. Played for Providence Catholic High School there. Joliet, Illinois, home of Joliet Jake Blues of the Blues Brothers. Reed's going to stare down Gomez. Gomez steals. Doesn't matter. Aaron Dees takes his base. So, Reed sent in to put on the fire and said stokes it a little bit for UTRGV. Bottom of the 7th, 1 away, 2 men on. Gomez on first, Dees on second, and here comes the cleanup hitter, Ivan Estrella, the senior at the plate. Estrella, right-handed batter, facing the left-handed Brandon Reed. Deals low and outside, ball 1.
And kind of a blessing and a curse for UTRGV. You've got the runs you really wanted now. Unfortunately, you've had a reliever up in the pen for the better part of 45 minutes now trying to stay warm.
Oh, that's true. That is true.
With each passing minute, you're burning a little further into that shoulder of his.
That would be Quartier up for UTRGV, who don't seem in any hurry to get out of their half of the inning. Keep putting men on base. Gomez on second, Dees on first. Deals, Reed does.
Ooh.
To Ivan Estrella for one that must have just caught the outside black of the plate for a strike. Strike 1, 1-1 to Ivan Estrella. 1 away here in the bottom of the 7th. UTRGV already with 4 runs across, 3 off the bat of Ryan Fish, and a 3-run home run to left field. Reed checks out second, looks, deals, Puts one inside. Ivan Estrella fights it off for the foul ball. Now it's 1-2. Estrella going to take his time outside the box before he comes back in. UTRGV with 7 hits on the board and 5 runs. 2 on right now for the senior out of Arizona, Ivan Estrella. Deals strike 3, swinging. Had him up high and tight. Estrella could not lay off for the second out of the inning. That'll bring up the man who came in for an injury replacement, Roger Varela. Came in when Austin Seener was injured. Went down hard after being taken off the bag for a tag at first base. Varela comes in for his second at bat. Got 2 on, 2 out, and sends a hit straight through the left side. Coming home is Anthony Gomez, and he is safe. Anthony Gomez beats the throw home. The throw was wide to Lockwood Powell, the catcher, from left field. And another run comes across the board for UTRGV. Didn't look to me like Gomez had any thoughts of stopping on that one. It was not a long hit. It was about mid-left field. And if that ball had been on line, it would have been a very close play. But as it was offline, and Gomez scores easily and standing up, making it 6-0, your score here in the bottom of the 7th. 5 runs across in this 7th inning. 2 away after the big hit there by Roger Varela, who's now at first. Aaron Dees at second, and up to bat, Elijah Alexander.
UTRGV has efficiently now batted around. Alexander led the inning off. With a pat. Led the inning off with a single. And advanced second on a pass ball, scored on the double by Torres.
So he was the first run of the inning.
He was.
And then later to be followed. Ooh, lazy swing and a miss there by Alexander for strike 1. Later to be followed by the 3-run home run. So Torres gets the first RBI of the inning. Fish gets the next 3. And then this last one off the bat of Roger Varela. Did not start this game. Alexander up with 2 on, sends down the first base line, straight to the first baseman, who steps on the bag for a 3 unassisted, and that is 3 outs. So finally, Central Michigan gets out of the inning. They had 3 pitchers in this inning, gave up 5 runs, and now, after 7 complete, UTRGV has extended their lead over the Chippewas to 6-0. We will be right back with more from Edinburgh and UTRGV baseball right after this.
Place Suites by Marriott, Edinburgh's newest destination spot and a host hotel of UTRGV athletics, with the amenities that a frequent long-stay traveler or visiting team in town to take on the V-Nation looks for. The nightlife is amplified with Ignite Lounge, a great way to wrap up a long workday or celebrate a big win. Town Place Suites by Marriott on Trenton, in between Business 281 and Sugar Road, and minutes away from the excitement of UTRGV. Town Place Suites by Marriott, Edinburgh.
Back at UTRGV Baseball Stadium, Edinburgh, Texas. The University of Texas Rio Grande Valley with a current 6-0 lead on Central Michigan as we get to the top of the 8th inning. And we've got a new battery in for UTRGV. Pitching is the redshirt junior, Jared Quartier. Number 18, right-handed pitcher, getting his first action of the year. And he'll throw to the experienced catcher who has come in. That would be, of course, Noah Lee. So Noah Lee in at catcher as Oliver Klosner was replaced last inning by Matthew Mendoza, who was then replaced by pinch runner Chris Castillo, and now Castillo replaced by Noah Lee. So Jared Quartier getting his first action of the season here in the third game of the year for UTRGV, and no real pressure. He's got a 6-0 lead. Quartier deals to the number 9 hitter for Central Michigan, Jordan Patty. The shortstop takes strike one. Quartier, a righty, looks in for the signals, deals again. Patty bounces one to short. Across goes Estrella, takes him off the bag though, and he's safe. So Jordan Patty reaches on an E6. Maybe it was a slow roller, high bouncer. But if the throw had been on line, you got to think that Jordan Patty would have been out. That brings up the leadoff hitter for Central Michigan. One on, nobody out for Zach Gillies. Gillies faces Jared Quartier. Looks like they're going to give that one as a hit to Quartier. That'll be the 4th hit of the day for Central Michigan. And the first one in some time. Quartier outside. Count is 1-1 to Zach Gillies.
Gillies 0 for 2 so far. He's hit by a pitch in the first, struck out in the third, struck out again in the 6th.
Looking for a little redemption here with a man on. Strike. Inside. Backed him off the plate and got a piece of it at the same time for strike 2. 1-2 the count against Zach Gillies. Jordan Patty, the man on for the Chippewas on first base. Jared Quartier, the redshirt junior from Anderson, Indiana, on the mound. Deals. Somehow, Gillies got a hold of it, but it starts the 6-4-3. Not so fast. Gets the one out at second, but they're going to say that Gillies beat the throw to first. So one away on what will be deemed a fielder's choice. Gillies replaces Patty at first. So close to being a double play, but slow roller. Slow roller over to Tyler Torres at third. Kept him from getting but the one out. Timeout called, so no pitch there from Quartier. Zach Gillies, the leadoff hitter, reached to first on the fielder's choice, takes a little bit of a lead. Quartier deals. Low ball one to the second baseman, Jason Sullivan of CMU.
The UTRGV pitching staff done a nice job of really keeping the top half of the order at bay for Central Michigan. First hit of the game didn't come until the 4th inning.
That's right. Jorge Flores did not give up a hit in his appearance. Excellent job by him. I believe 3 hits given up by Carrion. Is that correct?
Carrion, correct.
So, excellent job by both of those gentlemen. We'll see what Quartier can do. He's got one out. 2-0 count to the number 2 hitter for Central Michigan, Jason Sullivan. He deals, sends a long fly ball to left center field, still going back as the left fielder, and it is gone for a home run. Central Michigan gets some power play there from the second baseman, Jason Sullivan. His first home run of the year comes at an opportune time. It's a 2-run shot for Jason Sullivan as he crosses home plate, cutting the lead to 6-2. First runs of the game for the Chippewas coming the top of the 8th inning. Quartier gives up the big, long ball to Jason Sullivan. You think about what could have happened with the double play there. Possible double play. Instead of a 2-run shot, it's just a solo shot maybe by Sullivan. Daniel Robinson up to bat, the left-handed hitter facing the right-handed Jared Quartier. Second pitch is a ball. It's 1-1. One away, nobody on for Central Michigan. Trying to do something here in this 8th inning. They are down to their final 4 outs, but another long fly ball. This one to right center by Quartier, but this one will be caught by the center fielder, Coleman Grubbs. Coleman Grubbs comes up with it.
Number 37, Evan Pratt.
Coleman Grubbs camps underneath it, and it's 2 away. Quartier now taking on Evan Kratt. Of course, the last at bat for Evan Kratt, not to be a rhymer, but was very interesting. He thought that he was hit on the shin guard. 2 straight strikes from Quartier to Kratt. Then what was thought to be a put out at first ended up being a foul ball down the left field line after negotiations between the umpires. Ball 1 to Evan Kratt, 1-2 the count with 2 away. And then finally, they determined that the count was wrong and that he had actually walked. This time, just bounces one to the pitcher's mound. Barehanded, Quartier takes it, but it bounces past the first baseman, Roger Varela. And Evan Kratt heads to second base on the error. Slow roller to Quartier. And we'll call that an error on the first baseman. Made the stretch but was unable to come up with it. It was a bouncer, but Roger Varela maybe could have come up with it for that final out of the inning. Instead, it's Evan Kratt on second, make that third after the wild pitch by Quartier, who's having a wild inning. Already given up 2 runs on a home run by Jason Sullivan. And now a wild pitch puts Evan Kratt in scoring position at third.
But Kratt's had some fun. Talked about him getting on. And then a very tricky single moved him to second in the 7th. And then a bunt got him to third. Comes at the very next inning. Is able to get on with a throwing error to second. Wild pitch moves into third.
Evan Kratt. The Chinese have a curse. They say, "May you live in interesting times." It's been interesting times today for Evan Kratt, both on his side and UTRGV's side of the ball. Meanwhile, back at home plate is the freshman catcher, Griffin Lockwood Powell, who has a 2-0 count. And 90 feet away stands Evan Kratt from what could be CMU's 3rd run of the inning after going scoreless for the first 7. 3-0 the count now. Quartier having trouble finding the plate. Perhaps distracted a little bit by a runner on third.
And to put it lightly, he seems to be kind of overthrowing now. He's going beyond what his arm is really capable of doing and trying to just absolutely muscle it in.
And it's a 4-pitch walk to Griffin Lockwood Powell. Yes, Quartier could have easily gotten out of this inning. You know, just a little bad luck here and a little miss, error on the first baseman there, and this inning would be over. Instead, Central Michigan looking to extend it with men on first and third and 2 outs, and up to bat is the number 6 hitter, Zach Heek. Heek batting left against the right-hander. Jared Quartier hits it straight to the shortstop, but it takes a big bounce. Takes a bounce over Ivan Estrella's head. And just like that, Evan Kratt scores. Third run of the inning for Central Michigan. What an odd bounce that took, Brian Smith. What an odd bounce. As soon as it hit the infield dirt, it took a high hop over Ivan Estrella's head. He had no chance to catch that. That's just one of those strange infield hits that gets Zach Heek on board. He's on first. Griffin Lockwood Powell is on second. Jared Quartier still trying to get out of this inning, 2 away. And up to bat is Ty Rowland. Ty Rowland came on as a pinch hitter last inning, in for Dazon Cole. Promptly struck out. But now with 2 on and 2 out, has a chance to make this game a little more interesting. 6-3 is your score. UTRGV with a lead in the top of the 8th, 2 away. 0-1 the count to Ty Rowland. Ball 1.
And going back to that single by Heek, and it's really interesting because that ball had some pepper on it as it ripped through the infield. Estrella was in a good position to field it, and as if it hit a bouncy ball, it just darted right up over the top of his head.
Straight up. Another ball, 2 balls and 1 strike to Ty Rowland.
And it will happen, especially on a natural surface like what UTRGV plays on here. You've got that nice thick grass in the infield that traditionally would slow a ball down, but if you can get it through that glass with any type of pepper behind it, when it hits that hard clay dirt, things can happen.
Quartier having some trouble here. Another ball makes it a 3-1 count to Ty Rowland. Came in for Dazon Cole at the designated hitter spot. Stayed there for this inning. He finds himself with a 3-1 count with 2 men on and 2 out here in the top of the 8th inning. CMU only down 6-3. Rollins sends it to first. Covered by Varela, who gets it to Quartier for the final out of the inning. And it was a wild one. Central Michigan gets their first runs of the game to the tune of a 3-spot. Crooked numbers for the Chippewas, who have cut the lead from 6-0 to 6-3 as we head for the bottom of the 8th inning here in Edinburgh. We will return right after this with more UTRGV baseball.
Town Place Suites by Marriott, Edinburgh's newest destination spot and a host hotel of UTRGV athletics, with the amenities that a frequent long-stay traveler or visiting team in town to take on the V-Nation looks for. The nightlife is amplified with Ignite Lounge, a great way to wrap up a long workday or celebrate a big win. Town Place Suites by Marriott on Trenton, in between Business 281 and Sugar Road, and minutes away from the excitement of UTRGV. Town Place Suites by Marriott, Edinburgh.
We are back. UTRGV Baseball Stadium in Edinburgh, Texas. Your score, UTRGV 6, Central Michigan 3. And it looks like a new pitcher on the mound for Central Michigan University. It will be Tyler Brown, the left-hander. Third lefty that the Chippewas have thrown today. Tyler Brown, Jr. He's throwing to. That's interesting. It appears we have a switch here. We do have a switch. Interesting. The catcher and the first baseman have switched spots for our CMU. That means the freshman, Griffin Lockwood Powell, who called a heck of a game for Pat Leatherman, now goes to first base. The first baseman, Evan Kratt, now heads to catcher, where he will take over that spot. Interesting switch there, as they just switch positions, but will remain in their regular positions in the batting order. Kratt will bat fourth, Lockwood Powell will bat fifth. They just switch spots in the infield. But the new pitcher on the mound for Central Michigan, Tyler Brown, he will face the torrid Tyler Torres, number 34, the sophomore. 2 RBI today. And that's ball 1 from the new pitcher, Tyler Brown. Tyler Brown, 6'3", 197. Actually a Texan from Spring, Texas. And went to junior college at Galveston College. So he's familiar with the south coast of Texas. Now on the mound with a 2-0 count against Tyler Torres. Make that 3-0. As Tyler Brown having trouble finding the strike zone. Coming on for CMU here in relief in the bottom of the 8th inning. Ball 4. A 4-ball strike, and Tyler Torres takes first base. A runner on, the lead runner on for UTRGV.
Nobody for UTRGV. Catcher, number 3, Noah Lee.
And here comes the new catcher in for UTRGV, Noah Lee, came on in the top half of this inning as a defensive replacement. Noah Lee, batting 8th in the place of Oliver Klosner, who was replaced a couple of innings ago. So, 1 ball and no strikes to Noah Lee. The veteran catcher, the senior for UTRGV, comes on with Tyler Torres as the man on first for UTRGV and no outs. Tyler Brown looks over at first, then deals outside, ball 2, 2-0 count to Noah Lee. So far, Tyler Brown has delivered 6 pitches, and they've all been balls. Having trouble finding the plate, so we'll go to first instead. No chance at catching Tyler Torres there. Lots of Tylers in this game. Tyler Torres throws over to try and catch. Tyler Brown throws to go over and get Tyler Torres, and I've confused myself. And it's still no strikes in this game for Tyler Brown. Coming in relief, it's a 3-0 count to Noah Lee. As the Shadows have almost filled up the outfield, the infield, heading for the outfield. Nice throw over to first for Tyler Brown, but Torres back in time.
And as this game ticks along, we'll remind you there's a lot of action for UTRGV still to come. Women's basketball tips off at 7 p.m. over at the Fieldhouse against Utah Valley.
Last home game, correct?
Last home game of the year.
Last home game of the year for the UTRGV women.
Catch Jonah Goldberg on that call.
The inimitable Jonah Goldberg. Brown deals. Noah Lee gets a hold of it and sends it deep to center field, but not deep enough. Underneath it is the center fielder, Zach Gillies, who comes away with it for the first out of the inning. 1 away. As they would say in Major League, too high, too high. So Tyler Torres still at first base, and on comes the man with the biggest hit of the game. Ryan Fish, just last inning, hit a 3-run bomb to left field, landed in the CMU bullpen. Now he comes up with a man on and one out. Ryan Fish batting righty against the lefty, Tyler Brown. I'll say this for Central Michigan. They got lots of left-handed pitchers.
They do.
1 ball and no strikes to Ryan Fish, the number 9 hitter. We let the big dog eat in the 7th inning. Outside, high and outside. Ball 2. The UTRGV faithful starting to throw some cat calls. Tyler Brown's way. Tyler Brown, let's see, 6, 8. He's thrown 9 pitches. One of them was hit to a pop, into a pop out to center, and the other 8 pitches have all been balls outside of the strike zone. So it's no wonder that the assistant coach, Jeff Opalewski, wants to come out and talk to his Chippewa lefty. Short conversation. As I mentioned, Brian, an interesting shift, an interesting switch here in this game, as the first baseman and the catcher have switched spots. Evan Kratt goes behind the plate from first base, and Griffin Lockwood Powell is now the first baseman. Not sure I've seen that before.
You know, it's something you'll see a lot more at the NAI and the JUCO levels in baseball, because most of the time your first baseman and your catcher tend to also be your 2 more powerful bats. Not much at Division I level, because at this level, defensively, teams tend to specialize a little more.
Foul ball down the right field line. And after 1 swing and a miss and a foul ball, now the count is 2-2 on Ryan Fish.
But to your point, Clay, that's a move you typically see toward the end of a catcher's career. When those knees are giving, you'll see them spend some time out at first base, i.e. Joe Mauer, Craig Biggio.
Certainly, yes.
But you don't typically see the first to catcher transition. That's the interesting one.
Yes, that is true. Who knew Evan Kratt could get behind the dish as well? You wonder if maybe he's a personal catcher for Tyler Brown, or perhaps if perhaps just with these long days and many games, he thought that his freshman catcher, Lockwood Powell, had just been too long behind the plate. 3-2, full count for Ryan Fish. Here comes the payoff pitch from Tyler Brown, and it's a hit straight up the middle, lined out to short. They'll look to double him off, and they do. Tyler Torres doubled off of first base for the 6-3 double play, and that's the end of the inning. After getting the leadoff man on, UTRGV has a pop-up and a double play to end it. So we go to the top of the 9th and what could be the final 3 outs of the game for the CMU Chippewas. They need to make up 3 runs or this game will be over. UTRGV leads it 6-3. We're headed to the top of the 9th. We'll be right back right after this.
University Draft House. Civilized burgers for uncivilized appetites.
Good sportsmanship isn't defined by a scoreboard.
It isn't defined by how high you can jump or how fast you can run.
Good sportsmanship is all about character.
It is about doing your best for your coaches and teammates.
It's about having respect for your opponents, the officials, and the fans.
Good sportsmanship is winning with class and losing with dignity.
It is fair play, perseverance, and team spirit.
Good sportsmanship is what unites us.
We are the Western Athletic Conference.
Top of the 9th here in Edinburgh, Texas. The Al Ogletree Classic. As dusk approaches here in the Rio Grande Valley, UTRGV leads Central Michigan University 6-3 and looking for 3 outs from the closer. Another local pitcher for UTRGV. It's Ryan Jackson. Nicky Rowe High School, just down the road in McAllen, Texas. 5'10", 160, redshirt junior. How many appearances has he made in this classic so far, Brian?
This will be his second appearance. Jackson came in to close the 9th and then finished off the 10th for UTRGV in that classic of a match last night. And Ryan Jackson pitched at UTRGV as a freshman. Did not pitch as a sophomore. Back as a junior.
Interesting. Did not compete in intercollegiate athletics just last year. But now he's back. He's on the team. And he is looking to close out this game and get a win for UTRGV. Facing the number 8 hitter, Jacob Crum, right-hander. Righty-righty matchup here. And Jackson gets strike 1 on Crum. Going to call that a foul ball. So already, Ryan Jackson with an 0-2 count against his first batter of the day, Jacob Crum.
Jackson, a pretty straightforward pitcher for UTRGV. He's got a good fastball, low 90s, high 80s, plus off-speed pitch. It's a more traditional changeup.
Started actually 15 games in his career for UTRGV, but gets the ground out there, and Estrella makes a beautiful throw to get Crum at first. 1 away. And Central Michigan down to their final 2 outs as Ryan Jackson looks to lock up the save. Last night's game would have been counted as a win for Jackson, looking for his first save today.
You look back to his freshman season, nice, strong start for Ryan Jackson. Where things kind of went off the rails was about inning 5 and 6 of most of his starts. And traditionally, that's exactly what you want out of a closer, somebody that can come in and give you 1, at the most, maybe 2 innings. But it takes a special kind of guy to come from cold to red hot.
Foul ball, and just like that, for the second straight batter, Ryan Jackson's got an 0-2 count. 0-2 count on the number 9 hitter, Jordan Patty. 6-3 your score here in the top of the 9th inning. Ryan Jackson on for UTRGV to look to close it out. He looks in at Noah Lee and deals. Wow. Called strike 3, dropped by Noah Lee, who immediately tags Patty for the second out of the inning. And now Central Michigan down to their final out of the game. They'll send off the leadoff hitter. Send up the leadoff hitter, I should say. It's getting late, folks. Zach Gillies. Jackson deals strike 1. CMU better learn quickly. Time to swing against this young man because he's not going to nibble. Deals strike 2, catches the lower outside corner. 0-2 for the 3rd straight batter, and now Central Michigan down to their final strike.
Ryan Jackson, 7 pitches, 7 strikes.
You jinxed it, Brian.
There it is.
Ball 1. It's a 1-2 count. 2 away here in the top of the 9th. 6-3, UTRGV looking for their 3rd straight win this season, 3rd win in the Al Ogletree Classic. Deals ball 2.
Gillis wanted to swing on that.
He really did. He was really looking. I'm not sure how he laid off. That thing was buzzing back inside. 2-2-2. And the payoff pitch. It's a long, deep ball to right field, and camped out underneath it is the right fielder, Ryan Fish, who comes up with the final out of the inning. This one belongs to UTRGV Baseball. Your final score from Edinburgh, Texas, UTRGV defeats Central Michigan for the 2nd game in as many days. 6-3 is your final score. Brian, fantastic pitching in this game from UTRGV.
You know, realistically, Central Michigan got 3 runs but had Courtier not had a couple of tough luck bounces there. This could have been a shutout.
Could have been a shutout. Should have been a shutout. So, 6 hits for UTRGV. I'm sorry, 8 hits for UTRGV to go along with 6 runs. 1 error committed. Meanwhile, for CMU, 3 runs on 7 hits, no errors. 6-3 is the final. This one did not go extra innings as last night's game against the Chippewas went, but it does go just the same to UTRGV, who increases their record to 3-0, winning all 3 of their games here in the Al Ogletree Classic. Final thoughts, Brian?
I think if you're UTRGV, you're proud of what you got from your pitching staff. You're ecstatic with what your backs did in this game, and you're positioned really nicely to come in here Sunday, sweep the first 4 games of your season, and sweep the home tournament.
That final game coming tomorrow against Stephen F. Austin. 3 p.m. is the time. Stephen F. Austin, the Lumberjacks?
The Jacks, yeah.
The Jacks, yeah. So 3 p.m. tomorrow, UTRGV will try to make it a 4-game sweep of the Al Ogletree Classic. We hope that you will join us here at Edinburgh Baseball Stadium for more UTRGV baseball. For Brian Smith, I'm Clay Williams. Your final score from Edinburgh, Texas, 6-3 UTRGV with the win over Central Michigan's Chippewas. That's it for us. Have a great night and join us tomorrow.
This copyrighted telecast of the University of Texas Rio Grande Valley may not be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of UTRGV Athletics.